Hello guys, just wanted to give you some information I've had during my consultations. One of the issues that the person I was counseling had was breaking ties with an ex or a lover or someone that they may have been with. And actually there are spiritual connotations, whether you want to believe that or know it or not. So sometimes in order to move on, you do need to, how shall I say, some way break the bonds of from the person that you were with. And if you've had multiple partners, you're carrying around multiple spiritual ramifications. And today we're going to speak about how to break and make sure you are loosened, broken free from the person that you're no longer with. Some of the things are physical. Believe it or not, sometimes you can get things from the person that you didn't know. Besides STDs, there could be worms. Some worms live inside the body for decades without people knowing. And sometimes there's just some physical things as well. So let's get started. Okay. So spiritually to break free. And why is that important? Because once you're with someone as a lover or as a husband or wife or whatever the case may be, there are ties. There's a link that tied you two together. And within that tie, you became somewhat meshed, if not momentarily. So let's start with the spiritual. The spiritual, when two people are making love or have exchanged emotional expressions in some way, you have actually entered into that person's spiritual realm mentally, and they've entered into yours. It's not as easy as breaking up in order to untwine or to get that unlockedness. So this is what you do. One, you have to acknowledge that the person was not for you in whatever way. You have to release the anger, and sometimes that's very difficult, but that's part of why you do this. It will help you release some of the anger. So what you say is you actually say the person's name. I physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally cut all ties to blank. I am now free to move on with my life and enjoy my life, and I do not look back, and I do not have any regrets. And so that's what you say verbally. Now spiritually, you do have to meditate, cleansing yourself. A good exercise to do is to sit alone in quiet, take deep breaths in and out for about 5 minutes is tops. Very deep breaths, letting it cleanse your lungs, relaxed state. And you can also picture yourself as a person, and the person inside a balloon, the person that you were with. You see that person, you're in a blue sky. You actually take scissors and you cut the balloon, the tie, the string, and let the person go away. That is a visual or mental stimulation for exercising a person out of your mind. That's one way. Another way is to picture that person in a bottle, an open bottle. Like they say, send a letter in a bottle. You can actually put the person's name. You can do this physically too. This is also a physical way to do it. You can also do it mentally. Take the person's name, first and last. Write whatever goodbyes you want. Never to see you again, or it was nice knowing you. Whatever it is, but make it something that's a farewell. Write it on a piece of paper, stick it in the bottle, and send it off in the ocean or the sea or the lake. And be careful because of, littering policies. But you can do that mentally as well. Some people need to, again, they need to physically do something. That's another way. Another way is to actually take a bath in Epsom salts or sea salt. And while you're cleansing yourself, take about, let's do this. You need to take at least a quarter cup of Epsom salts or sea salt in warm to very warm water. Let it melt. Relax. Sit in the water. And have a gentle scrubber. And as you're scrubbing, you are telling yourself that you are fine, you are happy, you're ready to move on in a new phase in your life, and that no baggage that you carry from any relationship previously. You are now free to enjoy your life, and if you like, someone else in your life. And you put it in your own words. And as you're washing and the salt is cleansing, salt is a cleansing. That's why they use it to cure meat. It actually cleanses. So in your mind, you could think you're cleansing yourself emotionally, spiritually, and also physically. Let's see, another process that I've counseled people to do is to physically take an alcohol rub. If you can't get a massage, and have someone rub you with alcohol, like a professional. You don't want a new lover, because that's, it's not really cleansing, it's still bonding you with the new lover. So if you can't get a professional to massage you with mint alcohol, 60% or 70%, and that's a good cleansing, and that's happening, you can tell yourself again that you are free to move on, to start anew, be excited about the new, and release any baggage that you've had in any relationship. That's another way. Now here's another way internally. Sometimes when you're with a person, maybe the person cheated, or maybe they were just not a clean person. That could be a reason to really do it, cleansing, breaking the ties internally. And believe it or not, I have had people who have been with people who they found out later had worms, and they passed those worms through vaginal sex or orally. And yes, you can get worms through oral sex. And that's another informational session I'll give. But right now, what you can do, even if you don't know if you have them, chances are you do, and not even necessarily from that person. It is estimated 80% of the American population has some form of parasite or worms. So when you're with another person and you're having sex orally or however, no doubt you can get those worms as well. So now you have two set of worms. But what you do is there's black walnut. You can purchase this black walnut shells. Take it orally. They come in pill form. You don't crush up any walnut shells. And that will get rid of worms. As well as taking apple cider vinegar. That's good for lots of things other than just worms. And let's see, another good thing is to take coconut oil for about 2 days. Every hour, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil. That tends to also get rid of any parasites. And that will serve as something internally that will help you also cleanse your body. So if you can, in the mornings, take the apple cider vinegar. It's 1 tablespoon in an 8-ounce glass of water on an empty stomach. And some people can. So if you can't, take it with apple juice, but take 2 tablespoons. Because the water, of course, is best. You'll have to get through a little easier. With apple juice, it's a little easier. You need to take 2 because it's not as easy to get through to the intestines. So take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and about 8 ounces of apple juice if you can't stand the taste. And do that. That actually you do for 10 days. And that will help cleanse you. Try to stay away from sugars and sweets as much as possible during the 10 days. Eat as regular. Of course, you never want to overeat in any situation. So as long as you're not overeating, eating regular meals, getting your vegetables, stay away from the sugars, and do that every morning, you'll cleanse yourself internally. And so those are the ways to do that. I want you to know that this has helped me. It's also helped some of the people that I counseled during the periods when they were broken up and didn't know that there are things that you can actually do to physically release a person. One more thing, and this is the last thing. Not only can you say you're releasing the person, you're releasing all physical, emotional, and spiritual ties from blank, the name. You can also write this. If you're able, it is your judgment. If you're able to send the letter to the person or place it on the person's property. If not, if you're able to write that and bury the letter in the ground and cover it. That also serves as a way to do it. A lot of people don't know some of the people that they were with were actually practicing what they call spells. They are real. They are not always told that that's what happened to them. But if you've ever been in a relationship and you were not attracted to the person and all of a sudden you were, and it was a very light and floaty feeling, chances are today, with as many people who are doing spells, it was probably a spell. By doing the things that I've told you, you will release that and cut that spell. You have to be willing and you have to be unaware. Now that you are and you have the gumption to want to be free, please, if you have any comments or anything, just leave them at the bottom and let me know how these things work for you. Peace as always.